has a appointment on October 3rd.
Separate rooms, separate levels, lots of blankets, nice and cozy and friendly. Hold on. Hi guys, it's Sold by Max with Marsh & Marsh Real Estate Services, and I'm here today in Erie, Pennsylvania with the founder of the Anna Shelter.
Hi.
This is Ruth Thompson. Ruth is here to talk to us a little bit about the idea of adding a pet to your family. Most of my home buyers are first-time home buyers. When they first get their home, one of the most exciting things for them is to have a pet join them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've seen that happen a few times prematurely.
When you approached me about this, I thought, man, this is what a lot of people need to see. If you're transitioning, if you're in an apartment and your landlord says, yeah, it's okay to have a dog, but in the next 6 months you're gonna buy a new house, we ask people to wait. Wait until you're settled. If you're going to be in that apartment for a couple of years or whatever, that's fine, but wait until you're settled in the new house, because that transition, it's big on you and it's hard on the animal too. And we work really hard with our adopters. We want it to be a permanent placement. So I joke with people that, you're not married to the animal, even though that doesn't really stick anymore for anybody, but you can bring it back. If an animal doesn't work out in the home, we want you to bring it back and we try to find you a better fit. But we'd like it to be a permanent placement. It's really hard for the animals to transition so much. Like you saw when you went through the kennels, the dogs are quiet, they're seemingly happy here, but this is dog and cat jail. Anne Randon's ferrets, guinea pigs, they don't want to be here. So
I feel like I'm leaving with the dog.
Yeah, I was calling him a husky.
A husky, I think he's the cutest one in here.
No, he's not, he's ugly. But he's so nice.
He's like Hi. Am I allowed to walk on this thing?
I really want somebody to be ready for it, and it is a lifelong commitment. Again, if you absolutely are not getting along with the animal, we want to switch that up and make everybody's life better. We ask you to really put some thought into it. Probably the biggest thing, is to know what your space and your time constraints are. Breeds are very predictable for the most part, so we want you to do some research into the temperaments of those breeds to make sure you're getting the right fit.
We know that moving can be really stressful for animals. And so when you're going from one home to another, are there any tricks or any kind of special tips you'd like to share?
Let's say you've owned a home, you've got this dog or cat, and now you're moving it to a new home. Exactly right. Animals in their natural habitat don't move from place to place. They find a place, the pack settles in, and that's where they stay until food or resources are gone. So your dog or cat is like, this is great. We've been here for 5 years. I'm happy. We don't need a bigger place. And they're like, yes, we do. We need a yard. We need all that stuff. So you're moving. So transition with as much things from your old house to the new house. That's really big. Try to transition the animal slowly. Once you decide, like, yes, this is the house, like take your dog a couple times. See if your realtor can let you go through a few times so the dog gets acclimated and knows, like, oh, this is cool. I've been here before. You know what I mean? They're big into their senses, and we don't want to overload their senses. And that's where we see a lot of behavior issues with biting, going to the bathroom in the house, destroying things, being destructive, that kind of issue. So if we can eliminate that, that's going to make everybody happier.
If I'm getting a pet for the first time, how do I prepare for that?
So good question too. You're really good at this. You, Bruce. I believe in crate training. You have to think about it like having a 3-year-old loose in your house. Probably not the best idea. So one, you're protecting your home and your environment, and you're protecting your pet from getting into something. Having an exercise routine, like start thinking ahead. Okay, I can get up at 6 and walk my dog from 6 to 7, and then I'll shower, and then I'll get, go on with my day. So start planning that stuff ahead. Planning a dog sitter or cat sitter is important for when you travel or when you're not going to be home. And the more socialized you can make your pet, the better. Home Depot, Lowe's, all the pet stores, you can take your dogs into those places. Cats, cats, there's not many cats that are like, so cool, let's go for it. If you had a cat that was like that, even better. But a lot of the cats are just chill in their environment, which you want to do. But the more social you make your dog, the better pet it's going to be for you. So a lot of things to think about. Think about what veterinarian you're going to use. Think about what diet you're going to put them on. Think about the financial commitment. It's not cheap to own a pet. The routine stuff like flea control, dog food, quality dog food, good flea control. That's not cheap, but that's all stuff that you need. And the preparation for the fact that you could have $1,000 vet bill overnight if your dog swallows something or your cat gets hit by a car. So there's a lot to think about, and we work so hard with our adopters to just get them thinking about all of that stuff. And probably the other most important thing for us is that everybody in the house is on board. And we won't allow an adoption if a woman comes in, oh, my husband doesn't want a dog, but I'm getting one anyway. Like, no. The dog knows it's not wanted there. and we're not going to let him or her be the middle of it.
What are like some essential things for the first few nights?
Being prepared for a sleepless night, getting them out every 2 hours, even if the dog is potty trained. Most dogs during the day, you want to get them into that routine of when they want to go outside.
You're saying a lot of things that are
right?
routine oriented, and that's scaring me because as a small business owner, I know that routine is not something.
I get it. I totally get it.
It's so tough to have a consistent schedule, whether you're a local business owner or you're working odd shifts at a restaurant throughout the week. Yeah, 2 jobs.
For sure.
So those routine things kind of scare off
I get it.
a lot of people.
And I have that same lifestyle. But I try to plan ahead. You know, if I can't get home, I ask my neighbor if she can come let my dogs out. So I've got some plans in the works for those times. There are so many places now where you can take your dog too. So I know some jobs obviously aren't conducive, but you might be surprised. You know, your boss might let you if you have a well-behaved pet. You might be surprised to be able to bring your pet places. And then the same thing. So if you're working all day, it's an 8-hour day, and you've worked a 10-hour day, whatever. Pick a restaurant that is, pick a restaurant that's dog friendly. A lot of them have patios where you can take your dog. If the weather isn't fine, get takeout. Eat home with your dog. You know, there are sacrifices that you have to make to having a pet.
Go home and eat dinner alone with your dog.
Right, that's not alone. You're eating dinner with your dog, or invite the person over, have dinner there. So, you know, or it maybe a dog's not for your lifestyle. Maybe you've got to wait on the dog and maybe get a cat. They're much less, certainly a lot of them want the attention, but they're not as needy, I guess, as the dog would be. You know, their bathroom's in the house, it's a litter box.
Aww.
So we get in about 30 cats a week.
30 cats a week. You're pretty too. Oh, look at this guy. He's a climber.
Well, I have a pool on the other side. It was caught in a car engine.
Aww. Hi, buddy. These rooms are all set up by personality. So if you're looking for a certain...
Like, this is like a more active group for like teenagers, we like to call them. They're not quite kittens, not quite cats.
They don't look very teenager.
Teenagers. And then you've got like a chill room where these cats just want to like hang out. Love you.
So tell us more about the Anna Shelter, where you're located, what kind of services you offer.
We're at 1555 East 10th. We're 15 blocks east of State Street, so real close to downtown Erie. Kind of an industrial area. Literally, this was a car wash building. So I always joke that what we lack in aesthetics, we make up for in heart. There's nothing here that benefits humans. Like, we just literally got air conditioning in 2 rooms, and I've been here for 15 years. So yeah, we literally put every penny that we make right into these animals. Currently in-house, we have 57 dogs, 114 cats, 2 guinea pigs, and the ferret might have been adopted Saturday. But we always have like some kind of rodents or something. We have a farm rescue that's part of our shelter. So we have horses, we have pigs and goats out at the farm. Our cruelty department is huge, unfortunately. So we're always getting at new animals that have cruelty and neglect cases. And like I said, we work really hard to get the right fit. And I think sometimes people are offended. You know, they live in a small apartment and they're like, we really want this Australian cattle dog because she's so pretty. She's pretty, but she's also going to be on 24/7. Yeah, exactly, right. So we try to steer them to a dog that we think would be a better fit for their family. And I am a firm believer, you get exactly the dog you're supposed to get. You know, like if you get into a situation where there's one dog and 2 people both want it, like you're gonna get the right dog when the time is right. So I firmly believe in that. We are big into people as well as animals. We have a veterans program, we have nursing home program, we have school visits, where we try to get humans also to benefit from the animals here at the shelter. And one of the best things I can offer, we have behavior modification. We have 2 girls that are specifically trained in behavior modification. So we can help you, whether it's your dog or an animal that you adopted from us, and try to get you through. Basically, it's like learning to speak the language of the animals.
So you're a no-kill shelter?
We are a no-kill shelter. So there's a difference between following no-kill processes and procedures and truly being no-kill. So here at the shelter, we do euthanize if something has a behavior issue. I'll get to that one in a second. But a medical issue that we can't, not God. Neither are my veterinarians. We have amazing veterinarians on staff, but there are some issues that, you know, a dog with terminal bone cancer that's suffering, I'm not going to make it suffer. I can't stand to see an animal suffer. That would be a time I believe they go to heaven that I would assist in having that happen.
You believe in dog heaven?
Absolutely, I do. Yeah, how could it be heaven if they weren't there? You know, I mean, like, well, it's just like a no-brainer. And then I also look at behavior evaluations very seriously. I try to think of it like what I want my neighbor to own that dog. And I have a 4-pound Chihuahua who's like my son. Like if something happened to Biscuit, if you were walking a dog that I knew was so severely dog aggressive, it's not even give the other dog a chance. It's gonna jump on it, pummel it, and kill it. I need to be prudent and be respectful of the fact that they are dogs, and there's some instincts and behaviors I can't change. So we do take euthanasia here very seriously. It's not something that's easy. The fact that we have 114, I think, cats right now goes to show you that we don't euthanize them.
So Ruth, how do you feed all of these animals and keep them safe and healthy?
Literally, I joke all the time. It's literally by the grace of God. We are an independent 501c3 shelter, so we don't have any national affiliations. We don't belong to any bigger groups. Not that I don't play well with others. Don't get me wrong, because I do. But at the same time, this place is so private. Like, I feel like my name should be Anna because it's so personal.
I thought it was.
Right? I know a lot of people do. I do a ton of grant writing. Thank God we have a lot of community support. We do fundraisers all the time. We had 2 this weekend. So a lot of stuff like that is just how we get through. And literally there are times when I'm like, oh my God, like this is not going to work, and it does. So I'm really thankful. I feel like I'm serving my purpose because it's working. But donations, obviously monetary donations help. And I understand some people aren't comfortable giving money, so gift cards are a great thing to do too. Or whatever you think you use at home for your animals, anything that you think you're going to use, bring it over, And we are all about used goods. So if you have some blankets that you're not comfortable using anymore, towels, that's another awesome donation. And a free way to help us is to share our posts on Facebook, give us a good review, like our stuff. That really does help me with grant writing. So and that's free. Yeah.
We will be setting up a campaign at the end of this video for anyone who would like to make a donation to the Anna Shelter as a monetary way, like
I didn't know you were gonna do that.
Yeah, and then hashtag sold by Max. We're gonna match any gifts that you give. I like him. Oh, look at you, sleepy. Oh, you are. Hi. Hi. Oh, these guys are together. Is that okay? Yeah. You guys know about this? Good. So they're all friends?
They're probably litter mates, yeah. So this is Aria. She actually, the cliche, got caught up in a car engine. Someone started their car and heard some real bad yowling. So she has burns all over her, pretty good severe ones on her back. You can see back there. She also had to have her foot amputated. They got caught up in the fan belt and was, by the time she got in here, it was in really bad. Her toes were exposed. So she's going through a couple different treatments. Obviously, she's got the cone of shame on. We don't want her to lick at her wounds, but you can see that back leg there without the foot on it. So, but she'll be fine. And when she heals up, she's using her litter box. She's a great cat. She loves attention, loves affection. But right now, she can't go home just because of the amount of medicine that she's on.
Please give.
Yeah.
Please give.
The amount of medication. But that's something where, like, not to say a regular shelter, but another shelter might say, like, oh, it's a black cat, we're not putting money into her. Where, like, she needs to live, She's got every reason with medication, but, it's crazy, so this is what doesn't make sense as a businessman. So we'll put $600 into this cat and adopt her out for $45 because it's great that you picked us. I really appreciate that. There's a lot of great shelters in the area, so I'm not saying I'm the only one, but for sure.
I would have a hard time making that decision.
Yeah, it's her fault. She got stuck up in a car,
Probably trying to be warm.